today we're just going to focus on some few items, which is called salary basis, also extra information. And just like I said, this is a standard Oracle page, and this is a standard Oracle page. And if I go to assignments, like I said, for the extra information, if you try to add an extra field somewhere here, Oracle will not support it. So that's the reason why we always have what is called an extra information, so which is called extra information here. And also we have special information. Special information will contain special information about the employee. It could be a disability, or it could be things that are very, very confidential for that employee. So you put in the special information. And like I said, also we can, if we don't add any field here, which Oracle will not support, also Oracle allow us to have what is called extra information in the assignments. So there's so many extra information which are everywhere. So even in location, you get it even in a lot of places. But for the sake of this training, we just focus on assignment and also the person page. So if you notice what I showed to you in the beginning of the training, this is the you go to the place of work and I say, yeah, this is what we want you to configure or want you to set up. This person extra information, this is one of the items which they give to you. So if you notice, there's disciplinary record. So there's so many information. But before we go here, let me just quickly complete this, because I know we started this last week. If you notice what we did last week, I entered this information for this employee. Now I enter the address. I've not done anything on special information because at the moment there's nothing there. Even on the extra information, there's nothing there at the moment because I've not, let me just push this aside. So I've not actually added, if you notice, this is completely empty. There's nothing here. So we can deal with that later. It won't be that long. And if I go to the assignments, what we did last week, we created some departments. So if I just quickly take this and I do find, these are some of the departments which we created last week. So if I go to job as well, so if I go to this list of, we always call this list of value, you put percentage and you do find, it gives you some of the jobs. Okay, so it gives you a list of some of the jobs which we've created. If I go also to grade and I go to the list of values, you put percentage, find, it gives you some of the grades which we created last week. If the same thing, if I go to location, list of values, and I go percentage, it gives us some of the list of, oh sorry, it gives us a lot. Actually, for the sake of what we created, so I can just put ant there. So it gave us these two which we created last week. So if I, the same thing, if I go to, also here, I think last week, let me just quickly go there. So I think here as well, we did something called salary status. So we just put some list there anyway. So I think we have this list. So these are some of the filters which we created last week. Position, we didn't do anything on position. So last week we created only one payroll. And here, so if I put full, so it gives us the option, which is anybody working full-time regular or full-time temporary. So full-time temporary will be somebody who are just kind of working part-time. So yeah, so basically moving forward, so if once you complete all this, actually we can actually do some of them now. Let me just put HR there. So it says, what do I want to put here? So I can just say, I can say hourly, so monthly. It doesn't make any difference. So if I go here as well, so what do I want? I can just say accounting. It doesn't make any difference. So if I say, okay, actually, because it's HR, so I can just say HR. Oh. Okay, human resources. Okay, what grade? I can just say grade 1 or grade 2. So let me just say grade 1. So payroll has been automated. So monthly there. So location. So where would the employee be based? It's going to be based in Birmingham. Active status is, I'm sorry, status always default to active assignment because it's a completely new one. Is this guy going to be full-time? Yeah, it's going to be full-time, regular. And also, Now, when that comes here, salary basis, if you notice, there's nothing because we haven't set up anything at all. So I'm clicking this, it's saying there's no list of values because we haven't done that. So this is what I'm just going to quickly do now. So, and also here, if I come here as well, there's nothing here as well. So we can just quickly do some of this as soon as possible. Okay, so what we need to do quickly, because without a salary basis, is going to be incomplete. So let's quickly do salary basis. Now for us to set up a salary basis, so what we need to do is, I'm just going to get out of here. So for the salary basis, I think I've got a screenshot somewhere here. So let me just move this a little bit. Now I'll put it here. So this would have been sent to everybody. If not, this will be sent to you. So to create a salary basis, I said your responsibility. So we are in our responsibility, total compensation. So this is total compensation. It's a basic and also element description. So because it's going to be used for the past, so we can just say, just like my normal convention date, I always use 1951. So I'll just say and salary. So actually I can just say and salary. Actually I can put yearly. That's fine. So you copy this, you put it here. Do the same thing here. It doesn't make any difference. So it's an earning. So this will always be a recurring because you have to pay them every month. So actual. So now processing run, you always click this if we are going to be running payroll. So we can either leave it or just untick it. It doesn't make any difference. So we can just remove it. Now GBP. So because I am within UK legislation, this always defaults to GBP. So once you do that, then you just save. So if you notice, everything I'm doing here is actually the same thing here. So if I move forward a little bit, oh God, yeah. So the next thing. Am I in the right one? Okay, yeah. So the next thing I said, click on the input value. This is the input value here. So input value. So we can just use the same thing. So I'll just say annual amount. Then annual amount because it's money, so it's with money. Is it required, enterable, or database? So always use these two. Required is not really required. We will make it mandatory, so we don't really need that. So we can just say enterable and also database. So once you do that, just save. Remember, this yellow is to save. So once you've done this, the next thing is to link your elements to payroll. So we call it link. So link is always here. So I should have put it somewhere here. Oh no, I didn't. I think I should have put it somewhere here to say, yeah, link. So this is linked to payroll. So link, I'll just say open. I'm still in 1951. If you notice, this page is the same thing what is here. So you just click on and I've set up on, yeah. So this is the element which are created. Element is the same thing with kind of allowance. So we always call it element anyway. So once you do that, then you link it to your payroll. So we have only one payroll. Then once you've done that, just save. So once you saved it, then the next stage will be to create the salary basis itself. Because what I've actually done is just to create the salary basis element. Now I don't say create salary basis. So now it will be total compensation. I'm there already. Salary basic. I'm there already. Then salary basis. So this is salary basis here. So here we can just call it and salary basis. So once you've done that, then you can just click on. So the next one, you can just click on annual, but I'm not sure what is. Let me see if there's, yeah, there's annual salary. So if it says annual salary, annualization will always be 1. If I put here, if I put probably monthly, annualization will always say 12. And the same thing, if I put hourly, sorry, hourly, because there's some people they might be, so if I put hourly, it now depends on how many hours which they're going to be working. So I can put 2080. So that will be the number of hours which they're going to be working for the whole year. But for the sake of our testing, I'm just going to put annual. So annual, so the annualization will be 1. So the element which we created, we can just pick it up, so it should be there. So once we do that, then the input value, our input value will be annual. So our input value will be annual because that's the input value which I created alongside this. So once you've done that, that's all, then you just save it. At times they always say you should put the country code, so let me give it a try. Country will be, just say UK, and number of hours, so we can just put number of hours. This is how many hours they're going to work. So then save. So once you save it, just go out. So now we've done the salary basis, so I will just quickly show you where to get it. So once you've done the salary basis, if I go here, so go back to the employee which we created. So if I put Smith there again, then so if I go to here, salary basis, and I put and, then I'm able to see it. Can you see? And salary basis. So this is very important, and mainly for payroll. It goes hand in hand. We remember I link it to payroll, so it goes hand in hand with this. So that's that one. So now, very quickly, let's go to, I'll just quickly create some extra information, because this is very crucial. So I will just move this here a little bit. So this is, for example, like I said, you get to your place of work, they said, please could you create this extra information, because Oracle will not allow us to add to this page or the next page. So you can just, so for example, they said, could you create a disciplinary record? So something like this, what you need to do is to go to, I can just quickly set it up. So you go to sysadmin. We have sysadmin, which is the basic setup. So you go to application. I think how to create extra information, I will check if I've actually added it in the notes, but I think it's there, but I will check for you. But just follow the navigation which I'm working on. So remember, these are the extra information which they wanted to create. Disciplinary record, they wanted to create grievance record, they wanted to create, let me see what's next, training record, they wanted to create, I'm not sure it wouldn't, yeah, property. So let's just create maybe 2, that just for the sake of it, just 2 should be fine. Or actually we can create something else which is not on the list, because I know when it comes to passport or work permit, those are very necessary. So I will just quickly go to F11. So here, I think it's oh, okay. Actually, I can just put okay, yeah. Okay, so we can, oh no, not this one. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, my fault. Just put extra. So extra information. Okay, so with this extra information, what I just want us to quickly do is to create a new one. So for you to start a new one, you just unfreeze. Then you just click a new page, just click do a new one. So here we can just call it ants underscore, let's say disciplinary record. Normally this should be a capital letter, so underscore record. So then you can now make this a lowercase. Oh, the record. Okay, so that's fine. Then we can go here. So if you notice what the requirement, just please let me know if you can see this, because I know it's a little bit tiny. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. It's too big. Let me make it 125. Yeah, okay. So if you notice, the requirement is they want these fields. They want this field: disciplinary level, reason for disciplinary, dates, expiry dates, appeal rates. So this information, we can just quickly add it. And if you notice, they've actually put what you need to do here. So that's already been done. So, but what we can do very quickly. So I will just quickly, let me minimize this a little bit. So I'll just start with number 5. So the first one is disciplinary level. So it says now they want it to be a note, so we can just say let me just put, I'm not sure what, let me say same one is here. Okay, so we can just pick number 1. So you know what, we can just make it a free text. It doesn't matter, we can make it a free text. Now for you to make it a free text, so what you need to do is, let me just say not required. Now free text, we can just say probably 30. That'll be fine. Then save. Because of our time, I don't want to take too much time on this. Free text, that means I don't need to put anything there, so just leave it that way. So the next one, I'll just put number 10. So it says reason for disciplinary, so reason. Disciplinary. Oh, did I have my spelling right? Sorry. Okay, so reason is must. Okay. AE. So we need number 2. This one we can make it free text though, because it says first written warning, attendance. We can just make it a free text as well because of our time. So I can just say yeah, and this one I can make it 30 as well, because I don't want it to be too big. So then save. So the next one says date. So I can just put 15 dates. So I can just put okay, actually let me just, so disciplinary dates. So the same thing here as well, 3. So I can just pick up number 3. So date, normally date is always, I think it's FND dates. So we can just pick up any value here. So we can just use, normally I use this one. Yes, this one. So this is just a standard date. So the next one will be, so let me, okay, I don't want to, let me go back. I don't want to make it mandatory. Oh no. Okay, so it wants me to have something. Okay, 20. Let me just do the next one. So expiry date. Yeah, we don't need to do everything, but I just want to make sure we kind of understand how this works. So number 4. So this one is also a date, so we can use this as well. Copy and just put it here. Now I don't want to make this mandatory, so I can just remove this mandatory. And the same thing with that one, I can just remove the mandatory. Okay, so that should, so we can just leave this 4 fields. Let's just focus on this 4. This will be fine. Okay, so the next one, let's just try something else, which I know is very common. So let's just try a new one. So a new one is, we can just say and underscore work permit. Sorry, work permit. Okay, so you can just, no. So we can just put work permit here. Okay, so work permit. So the same thing as well. So we can just say I don't know how work permit works. I haven't got one before. So work permit, I can just say work work permit work permit type. I'm just guessing anyway. So the same thing one. So work permit type. So we can probably put a list, but it doesn't make any difference. Let's make it open as well. So we can just go here and make this also 30. So save. So the same thing, if I go to, let me just work permit issue date. So if this is a date, so we can just do FND date because it's a date. So I normally use that one. Yeah. So then save. So the same thing. I don't want to make it mandatory, so I can just remove that. The next one, I can just say 15. Work permit expiry date. So this is also a date. So date, then save. Okay, then remove. Okay, so for work permits, we can just leave it that way for now. So that should be fine. Lastly, I know it's not here, but I'm just guessing because these are the common things which you get in most countries. So the same thing, I will just say passports. Sorry, passports. So let's just say passport anyway. So this one, I can just put it. So the same thing. There's a type of passport. Okay, so number one. So the same thing. Let's just make it, leave it open. Remove. I'm gonna make this 30 so that there's not too much space. And the next one, so I can just put it to 2. So I'll just say issue date. %2. Okay, so the next one will be, so issue date, so FND, this is what I normally use, so, and this is Oracle standard, then save. So we can now remove required, so that this is not mandatory, then save. Okay, so these 3 EIT which I've done is fine. So once you've done that, just freeze, compile, then save. Okay, so once you've done that, you go to your responsibility and you register. So I'll just quickly register from here. Oh, this one hasn't got, oh god, no, I need to, okay, sorry, give me a minute, I will just quickly do something. Yeah, I haven't got any reports linked to this, so let me just quickly add this, a standard report if I can give one. ANC. Yeah, I haven't got any reports here. So let me see if I can see any UK reports. So yeah, this one should be fine. Then save. Okay. So hopefully I need to register the EIT. So because I use a standard report. So let me see if I can see. Oh, is there? Good. That's fine. Okay. So what we've done is called that one. Extra people, extra information. So what we need to do, just put ants there. So we should be able to see 3. Let me see if my EIT is not there. United Kingdom, multiple rows. So okay, let me check from here. My EIT is not coming up. Why? Okay. So let me just check this. Normally they should come up automatically. So if it's not coming up, so people, extra information. So A and T. Okay. Sorry, just give me a minute. Let me just quickly check. Okay. So if I go back to sysadmin, okay, application, flex field, descriptive. Then if I go to extra, A and T. Hold on. Percentage. Hold on. A and T. Okay. I think I know why. Master record. I couldn't see. Okay. Give me a minute. Let me go back there again. Because it looks like everything we did, I didn't save it. Okay, let me just do passports. Okay, so segments. Maybe I did not save it. Okay, let me just do passports. Passport again, then it looks to me that I did in the wrong one. Okay, so let me just minimize this, then put 30. Okay, then we put a date. Sorry. Okay, I don't think it likes the dates, so I'm just passports, dates. Okay, and PEI and number 2. Okay, let me make, sorry, this is FND, so FND and dates. Okay, so I don't want to make this mandatory, so let me just remove this and that's it. Okay, let me just do one more. It looks to me that what I did, I put in the wrong one, so that's the reason. why I couldn't see it. So let me just quickly do this. So work permit, that's fine. Okay, let me just quickly do this. It wouldn't take time. So work permits. So now this work permit, I can just say work permit type. Okay, so PE, that's fine. Then let me make it open. So required, so 30, save. Okay, so the next one, I will just quickly do this. So just put work permit date. P, and number 2, then this is a date, so FND dates. That's standard. Okay, so that's fine. So let's just leave this 2 for now, so that should be fine. So yeah, so we've done 1 and we've done 2, so this should be there now. So if I save, freeze, so extra person, okay, that's fine. Then compile. Compile and save. Okay, so if I go to the responsibility, request, so I need to, the next stage is just to register. So register, so table value, I need this one. So if I put ants, aha, so they're there. Okay, so multiple United Kingdom. Now if this extra information, if it's only applicable to UK, then you leave it here. If it's not only applicable to UK, if it's going to be used globally because if you are working for a multinational company, if the and password will be used in the US, in any other country, what you need to do is to get rid of this. But if it's only for United Kingdom, you can only use it in United Kingdom. So let's presume you want it in United Kingdom, so let's put it back. So United Kingdom, then just say OK, submit. So we need to run the other one as well. So we've only done 1, so I need to do reg and extra information, do the second one. So the same thing, work permit, United Kingdom, only United Kingdom, so it will not be visible in the US. So then I will just refresh the data, make sure it's running. Yeah, so that one is done. So then in the responsibility, I need to go to there's something, yeah, I think, no, that's special information. I think if I go to security, information types, so what I would do is I will query and the only responsibility we have, then I will put this one there, and passports, then and work permits. So if you notice, it says legislation code only GB, so this will never be used by any other country. So save. So once you save it, so I will go back to the employee which we've been using. So if I go there, find, if I go to extra information, can you see? You can see those 2. So if I click on passports, can you see? You can see the passports and the passport dates. So the same thing, if I go to work permits, you can see type and you can also see dates. So this allows you to do anything. So to be honest, because of our time, that's why I just have to create only 2. So normally in some countries you can see quite a lot, because depending on the requirement, you can see this requirement here. I think they got like 5 or 6, and you have to create all these fields one by one. So once you do that, and all this information as well, so you need to make sure everything is according, remember, this is only 2 fields. For passport, it could be more than this. Normally, it could be more than this. So depending on the requirement. So this is just to train you how to do it. Now the next one, which I want to quickly go into, is just the what's it called? Annual leave. I will just quickly go to annual leave. I think on this list, if I go to number 75, 75. Okay, 70. Yeah, this is 75 or 76. Okay, so I think this is how to create an annual leave. So I'm not sure. Let me just go to the top. What's here before then? Okay, so this is completely different. Now, for you to be able to create an annual leave, you need to create the annual leave element first. That's the first thing you need to do. So I'll just quickly show you how it works. So remember, so let me just quickly, let me push this by the side. So for you to create an annual leave, so I know we have very limited time, so I'll just quickly do this. So annual leave, if I go to total compensation, basic, and element description, so the same thing which we did before. So total compensation, basic, and element description. Now remember my dates. I always like to use 1st of January 1951 because it gives you more time. So what we need to do is firstly to create an element which will be called, let's say, and annual leave. It doesn't make any difference. Annual leave. I can say annual leave elements. So it can be these things. So I'll copy this, put it here, and also put it here. And this, normally this is always an information. So it's always a non-recurring. I mean, recurring and non-recurring. Recurring means something that will happen every month, or it could be every week. So, but non-recurring is something that just happens occasionally. For example, when you're creating an element for a salary, you get paid every month. So, or you get paid every week if you're a contractor. So that will be recurring because it is every week. So for annual leave, not everybody takes annual leave, so it is always non-recurring. So I always use actual termination. So processing run, because we're not running payroll, so I can just leave this, or just leave it there. It doesn't make any difference. So then save. So once you save this, so if you notice, I'm following what is here. So I can just go to to the input value. So this annual leave might either be in days or it could be in hours. So let's say in days. So some people are entitled to 25 days. It could be 30 days and then a whole year. So you just pick up day there. So on the units, you pick up a day, and also is it enterable? So required. So we can just say required there. Oh, sorry, 1. So is it required? Yes. Do you want to put in database? Yeah, we can say that. That's fine. Once you do that, I think that's fine. Then we can just save. Okay. So once you've done that, so let me go to the next one. So the next one is we need to link it. So we just link this to the pay. Any elements you create, you need to link it to a payroll. So I will just quickly link it to a payroll. So I'm still in 1951. So let's see. Okay. So link. I'm going to link it to payroll. Okay. So once you've logged on the link, the next thing you need to do is to, if you notice here, I also create a sickness. I mean, because in your place of work you have annual leave, and people are also entitled to be sick anyway. So you're entitled. I mean, people they can do that. So once you've done the element for annual leave, for example, what we need to do next is to create an element. Sorry, absence type. So absence type. So for absence type, we can do the same thing. We can just say annual leave type. We can just say type. It doesn't make any difference. So this one we can just say it's a paid leave because it's paid. Annual leave is paid. Name of the annual, so we can just say ANT. So it should give me annual leave elements. So automatically it comes with days. So once it does that, and if you notice, this is days. So always put it to increasing. So once you've done that, then just save. Okay, so the next step, step 27, I said define an accrual plan. So those are that's the last step. So this is the accrual plan. So with the accrual plan, we can just call it annual leave plan. So if annual leave plan, so we can just say annual leave. Let me just see what will be suitable. So annual leave. Okay, yeah, vacation is fine. So what's the units? Let me see what's there. No, okay, days. So we are in days. Description, we don't need it. Now this is where fast formula comes in. So let's just use a standard fast formula. So that'll be fine. This is a copy of the standard fast formula. So normally you can set up your own fast formula, which is what I normally do. I don't normally use a standard one, but this will still be okay. That's fine. So standard one will always be January to December. So people, we have, let's say 30 days at the beginning of January. So by the end of the year, they finished it. They get next year, they get another 30 days again. So carryover, are they allowed to do a carryover? For example, if people have not finished their annual leave, can they carry it over, the remaining, the balance, to the next year? So that's what that means. So this is where our absence type comes in. So annual leave elements. So and it says what is the what's the units? So it's in days. So once you've completed this, just save. So I'll just show you where I am. So if you notice, it's the same thing which I'm doing. So same thing. So done. So once you've done that, what you need to do here, so it says from 1 year to 0 to normally to 99. So I always put, let's say 30 days. Carryover, are they meant to do carryover? Yeah, they can carry over 5 days. So just save. So let me see what I've done here. Yeah, it's the same thing. So here I just say 0 to 99, 24 days. I just say 0 to 99, 30 days. So carryover, they can carry over 5 days. So that means if they don't finish their 30 days in the whole year, if they have 10 left, it says you can only carry 5. If they have 20, they can only carry 5. So that's what that one does. So once you've done that, you just saved it. Next, that one, it automatically populates the server anyway. So once you've done that, so that's fine. Now what you need to do is to make sure this plan is linked to your payroll. So let's check. Normally it's auto link, but we can just quickly check it and see if it's auto link. So let me just quickly check it. So at times it does it. So Control F11. Okay, and see it automatically does it. So at times it doesn't, but if it doesn't, just add it to the payroll. So which is fine. So that one is done. So once you've done that, so what we can do, I will just quickly show you. But before I do, that's for the plan. Before I do that, let me just quickly set up an element. Now this allowance will be, let's say, now when you recruit somebody, they might be entitled to transportation allowance. They might be entitled to, let's say, one kind of benefit or the other. So it could be any kind of benefit. So let me just set up one. So for example, this guy is entitled. So let me just set up an allowance. So I will just say and transport allowance. So we can just quickly set up one. So just that one. So this wouldn't take time. So it's also an earning. Recoin. Actual. Yeah, we can put it to process or take it off. It doesn't make any difference. Then save. Okay, it automatically says pay value, so we don't need that. So let me set up a new one. So here will be what value can, okay, actually we can use this pay value, it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, we can use this pay value, so which is fine because I've already put, yeah. Then enterable, so which is fine, we can use this. So then save. So let me try one more, then we can now do, we can go to, so let me just, what kind of allowance, I would just say, so travel allowance, we've done that. Transport, we can just say something like social allowance. It doesn't make any difference. Social allowance. Social allowance. There's quite a lot of them. I mean, there's thousands of allowance which we can think about. So, but just for the sake of training, so we can just use this and just say save. So once I save this, so the pay input value is there already, so we can just use this. So that's fine. Then once we've done that, we need to link it to payroll because it will not link automatically. So we set up, let me just say ends. So we set up transportation allowance, so social allowance, so link it to payroll, then save. So we set up a new one again, which is called transport allowance. Then we link it to payroll, then save. So once you've done that, so what you need to do, so I can see everything you've done, you go to enter and maintain, so that you can go to the employee, reset. So I go to the employee which I created, assignments. Then if I go to, let's just populate this already, which I haven't done, so just do correction. So job, so okay, the first one, so this one we can say yearly or monthly, doesn't make any difference. So job, like I said, for you to pick up the list, go to this list of value, put percentage, find, then anything you want, so which is HR, so you can just say HR. The same thing with grade, go to this list of value, percentage, find, then let's say grade 1. The same thing, so I think we only created 2, so out of these 2, let's say it's going to be working in Birmingham. So payroll, we only have 1 payroll, so just click on payroll. This is automatic, so which is active assignment. So here it's going to be working full-time. Just click on full-time regular. So we've already created a salary basis, so which is salary. So salary basis. Now supervisor, we don't have any supervisor because this is the first employee which I'm creating. So actually there might be, let me put a dummy supervisor here. There might be some supervisor. Let me just pick up anybody, that's fine. So let's pick up anybody there, that's fine. So now probation. So what it would be the probation period for this guy, it could be every 6 months. So just pick up 6 months. So the next probation would be 4th of July, sorry, 4th of August. Notice period, when he's going to leave, how many weeks notice does he need to give us? So let's say 1, then we can say months. So that's 1 month, so which is there. So standard condition, how many hours would this employee be working on a weekly basis, excluding lunch? So let's say 37.5 on a weekly basis. Is it going to be a salaried employee or hourly employee? Because it's an employee, so it's salaried, just pick up salary. Now, how often will this guy work? When he's going to start in the morning, when he's going to finish? That's going to be 9, I think 9:00 in the morning up to 17:00. That's fine. Then statutory, we don't need that one, so just ignore. So once you've done this, then the next thing you need to do is to go to entries. Okay, let me save first. So save. So if you notice, every single information here, we need to go somewhere else to create them. And that this is what the backend is all about. Now I've saved. So if I go to entries, and I go to, if for example, if I just click on ants, you'll see every everything which we've created. Can you see? So we already have this element. We're not going to use this because this element is actually for this plan. So this plan is for the annual leave. So we can just say annual leave will be 30 days. So just click on yes and save. So that's for the annual leave. Now the next one, we can just say, yeah, what's and so also salary. So this is the salary. So we can just use this and just say yes. So that's what the salary base is. So you go back there as well. So what kind of allowance would it be entitled to? So it's going to be entitled to social allowance. So let me just remove this. Social allowance. So just say yes. What is going to be entitled to transportation allowance? So just say yes. For the transportation allowance, we can just put a figure there. So let's say it's going to be entitled to, I don't know, £34 every month, something like this. Oh, sorry, incorrect formats. So just £34, save. What about social allowance? How much is going to be entitled to every month? We can just say £13. Correction, then save. Okay, so the same thing with salary. How much is going to be collecting every single year? We can just say 40,000. Correction, then save. Okay, so once you've done that for the annual leave, you don't need to do anything. What you need to check is to go to, let me just expand this a little bit. So we've completed this. I mean, like I said, for a new employee, there might be more allowances, which is it might be which it might be entitled to, but for the sake of training, this is okay for now. So if I want to go, for example, this guy started on the 5th of February, so I need to go to others and go to oh my God, where's the? So there's something I'm looking for. I'm looking for the accruals. Oh, the accruals is not here. Ah, okay. Sorry. I think I need to check. Okay. Okay, there's something that needs to be here, which is probably not here at the moment. Let me check if it's not. It's not somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, there's something I need to add, which is called accrual. So, which I will try to add before the next training. So, to be honest, I was surprised it's not here at all. I think it's because I'm using a standard one, so which they did not add. So yeah, they didn't add this. Okay, I will add it before next week. So it's not here at the moment. So this accruals will actually allow you to check to make sure this guy is actually entitled to 30 days. You can actually see it and you can make a little bit of calculation on it. At the moment, it's not here, and I think it's because I used the menu which are actually added is not actually here, and also the tax flow which was added to the standard which I use. That's the reason why the accrual is not here, but I can change the menu. So once I change the menu, then I should be able to see the accrual, so which I will try to do next week, so that's fine. So apart from this, I think I've come to the end. So but what I need to do very quickly, but I don't think we need to do this. Okay, so the reason why the next training, which I just want to quickly check, is to see if I can just add some extra value. Like I said, some of these values, they are all standard. We can add more. The same thing with title. It allows us to add more information, but next week I can actually do that so that we don't take too much time today. So yeah, so any list of values which I believe we can add more information, I will show you. For example, all these ones belongs to you. You need to add all this information, so that's the reason why you can see that there's nothing standard. This is what we actually set up, but there's a lot of standard information, which are everywhere. You can actually add more information to it, but we can do that next week, and we just round up the training next week. Okay, I've come to the end of the training. So thank you very much, everybody. So